Welcome back to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. We were live literally 14 hours ago on the channel. Let me get my headset right. Looking a little weird, but we have some breaking news that is now being refuted by Cam Reddish. Marc Berman reported this morning that Cam Reddish has requested a trade. And then just a second ago, Cam Reddish posted on Instagram that's not true. He said, I did not do that. Before we get into the audience buildup, actually, Seeps, let's go to the quotes from Marc Berman, and then let's go to the Instagram post by Cam Reddish. So the latest rumors are that Cam Reddish demands a trade, and the asking price for Donovan Mitchell has gone down, according to Ian Begley. We're going to break all that down in today's show. I don't know how long we're going to be live, but you guys control the show as always. This is what Marc Berman had to say about Cam Reddish. He said, the Post has learned Reddish wants a change of scenery from New York after he was traded there in January and didn't initially crack the rotation to build confidence. An NBA source said Reddish is looking for a larger role. He also said the Lakers have interest in the 6'8" Reddish and could be a part of a 3-team deal with Donovan Mitchell. If they aren't included, the Knicks could do a separate deal with Los Angeles, perhaps to recoup a first-round draft pick they lost in a Utah scenario. So Marc Berman reports that Cam Reddish in the New York Post has learned that he wants a trade, and then the New York Knicks, because it is Cam Reddish's birthday, you can push it across, Seeps. It is Cam Reddish's birthday. Shout out to Cam Reddish. You can type HBD in the chat. He turns 23 today. The New York Knicks posted a happy birthday message to Cam Reddish, and some guy says, bro just requested a trade, and Cam Reddish responds and say, when did I do that? Y'all be tripping. So we got some conflicting information here as Marc Berman is reporting that Cam Reddish has requested a trade, and now Cam Reddish is saying, I didn't do that. But let's be honest, if you're Cam Reddish, you should want a trade. Because when you got traded here, pretty much Tom Thibodeau said I wasn't a fan of the trade. He didn't include you in the rotation. He wasn't on board with the trade. So you were going into a situation that the head coach didn't even want you to be in. That is crazy. We're going to break that down. And then Ian Begley is saying that a trade price has gone down. Keith Turner says Cam cleared that up. Yep, that's what we're showing right here. But I think where there's smoke, there's fire. He may not request a trade or has not requested a trade, but I believe that he wants a bigger role. I mean, why would he not want a bigger role? He requested a trade from the Atlanta Hawks to get a bigger role, got traded to the Knicks, and got the same role, if not a little bit smaller. I'd be pissed off too. We're going to break all that down in a second. But I just want to know, where are my real ones at? Are the real ones in the chat? Because it's noon on the East Coast, 11 where I'm at in Dallas, Texas. If you are a real one, drop a real one in the comment section right now. Where are the real ones at? Let's ride. Frank saying Berman is a clown. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Marc Berman guy, but look, he's tapped in, no doubt. There's some speculation going on that maybe Tom Thibodeau was the guy that pushed this one out and gave it to Marc Berman. I don't know. If you're a real one and you're in the chat, drop a real one in the comments section. Shout out to Matthew. Big L is in the chat. Artuo, my guy. Harlem Girl, what's good? Shout out to all the real ones. We got 236 people in the chat right now and just 26 likes. This is BS. Hit that like button. Let's go. Get those likes up. Let's get to 100 likes right now. James Gaines, real one right here, 9:22 a.m. in San Diego, California. Tuning in, my guy. I appreciate you. If you're a real one, drop a real one in the comment section. We're going to post. SB Gorilla is in the chat. He wasn't here past couple of live shows, but he's back. My guy, what is up? Shout out to Ty, Monkey, Keith, Derek. Last name, first name. He says, don't shame me. I won't shame you, brother. He's a real one. Wow, I am shocked right now about kind of the development so far early on this morning and this is wild, and I think this is a good question to ask at this point. Do you think a Donovan Mitchell trade happens? Do you think a Donovan Mitchell trade is going to happen? Let me know what you think. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Does a Donovan Mitchell trade happen? Y for yes, N for no. I think it still happens. I think it does still happen. I think a trade involving Donovan Mitchell will still happen where he ends up with the New York Knicks. I think it's a situation where we're so deep into the negotiations that you just can't pull out at this point. You know what I'm saying? You're in there so long, sometimes you just can't pull out. You know what I'm saying, Thibs? But I'm serious. Like you're too deep in the game at this point to pull out. We want what they have. They want what we have. I mean, Charles Pommel's in the chat, my guy, a real one. We're in too deep. You can't pull out.
It's 11:30 in the morning, everybody. We're coming at you live.
I mean, the man said he's too deep. All right. I do think, though, if a Donovan Mitchell trade happens, I think two of these guys right here will be in the trade. I truly believe that. In my heart of hearts, I know that Danny Ainge wants two of these guys in a trade for Donovan Mitchell. It's going to have to be Obi, Quickly, or Grimes. Which one of these guys would you keep? If you had to keep just one of these guys, who would it be? Because I truly believe that two of them, if a trade happens, are packing up their bags in NYC and heading to Salt Lake City. And that's going to be devastating for one of these guys. But let me know, which one of these guys would you keep? Type 1 for Obi Toppin, type 5 for Emmanuel Quickly, type 6 for Quentin Grimes. I'm keeping Quentin Grimes. If I have to keep any one of these guys, it's Grimes. If I were to power rank them, it would be Grimes, it would be Obi, and then it would be Quickly. I just think Grimes has the potential to be the most winningest player of these guys. He does what you got to do to win games in 2022. He shoots threes. He plays defense. Doesn't need the ball to be effective. Obi doesn't need the ball. Obi plays defense. But you're going to need floor spacers if you land Donovan Mitchell and you have Jalen Brunson and you have RJ Barrett. You will need floor spacers. But I think this. If a trade happens, I think Quentin Grimes will be in the deal. It has been reported since the first Shams report of this trade that the Utah Jazz valued Quentin Grimes. And that makes me believe that he is going to be in this deal one way or another. If I could keep one of these three guys, it would be Quentin Grimes. But I think right now we're only going to get to keep one. And I think it's probably going to be Emmanuel Quickly. I think Grimes and Toppin are both going to be in the trade. We got 333 people watching right now and 69 likes. Nice. Tom, shout out to you. We're at 69 likes. Let's get to 200 likes right now, though. We got 333 people watching, and we got 75 likes. Let's get to 200 likes. We got the fireball on deck. It's early. We can do a little drinking. If we get to 200 likes in the next 45 seconds for Donovan Mitchell, 45 seconds, a minute. All right, we'll give you a minute. If we get to 200 likes within a minute, I'll take some shots. We'll get the shots going. 100 likes. We're 97 away, and we got 40 seconds to spare. We're about to get into the latest on Cam Reddish requesting a trade that he just shot down on Instagram. Marc Berman's reporting it. So you got reporter versus player. We got 356 people watching, 114 likes. We got 20 seconds. I don't think we're going to get there. I don't think we're going to get to 200 likes. If you haven't yet, hit that like button. We got 15 seconds. Come on. Let's get to 200 likes. Let's do it. 123. We got 360 people watching. Let's ride. Hit that thumbs up icon. Let's get to 200 likes on the video. Fell a little bit short of the goal, but hey, I know Knicks fans are going to answer the bell. Like my guys, Charles, always being a real one. Get those likes up. Let's go. 136 likes. Let's get to 200 likes. Let's party. Because Say Hey says Marsh is a party guy. I also am rocking my Real One t-shirt. It finally came in the mail, and I am pumped. The shirt is sick. It feels great. I feel like I'm playing for the Knicks. If you want to get a Real One t-shirt, let's go to that, Thibs, before we get that. Hit that like button. We're 50 likes away from 200. Get your Real One t-shirt. This is the first time I can do a real read with the gear on. Let's ride. Shirt's fresh. It feels great, silky smooth, and it's swaggy. It's a swaggy shirt. Thibs, what do you think of the shirt? I think it looks better in person than on screen.
I was just going to say that. I think it looks way better in person.
It's a better blue. It's not a bright blue. It's that royal New York Knicks
and the
blue.
Text is just like the Knicks
text.
It
this is Knicks text through and through. This is Knicks text through and through. I'm going to get the link to that in the chat real quick so you guys can be a real one and get your shirt. Because I saw a lot of you guys saying you were real ones. Be a real one. Get a shirt. Go to chatsports.com/real Knicks. Chatsports.com/real Knicks. Charles, he sent in a $10 super chat, and you guys know the rules. Every $10 super chat on the show, no matter if it's 11 a.m., 1 a.m., or 6 in the morning, every $10 super chat equals a shot of Fireball, no matter where we're at in the day. I still got the taste of toothpaste in my mouth, so this might be brutal. But Charles, this is for you, my guy. 161 likes, 400 people watching. Let's go. Let's get to 200 likes. Let's do it. Let's get to 200 likes. Hit the like button. Let's go. $5 super chat for my guy Pro Cannon Gaming. After the super chat, hit the super chat menu, Ring of Honor, and then the cut. I think that's how we do it. Let's do that. Pro Cannon Gaming. I would love to keep Cam Reddish, but I feel the Knicks don't value him as highly and wouldn't be surprised they move him by the deadline. You got to remember, when Cam Reddish was traded to the New York Knicks, Marc Berman reported that Tom Thibodeau was not on board with the trade. He was not someone that was a believer and wanted to make this trade happen. So I think he came into a situation that really wasn't ever a spot that was going to work out for him. They made a trade. They took a flyer on a guy, a heavily protected first-round pick, and Kevin Knox, and made a trade for Cam Reddish. Was it worth the risk? I don't know. I'm not out on Cam Reddish. I don't even know if he gets traded. I mean, he just said on Instagram it's not true. Marc Berman is saying it's true. So, I don't know. Pro Cannon, I appreciate the $5 super chat, my guy. I would not be surprised if the New York Knicks traded him. And I would say the Lakers are the number one landing spot. Why? Because he is repped by Clutch. And LeBron, he is Clutch. Here's a super chat menu for today's show. Every 100 likes equals a Fireball shot. We're at 180 likes, so I already owe you guys one shot. If we get to 200 likes, I'll take 2 shots after the cut. Every $10 super chat equals a Fireball shot, and every $100 supers equals 4 shots. After last night's show, we had to update the Ring of Honor. And here it is, because it's an elite group right now. Big L came in with a $115 super chat last night. Reggie Jones. Well, first it was Jason B. Jason B sent in a $101 super chat. And then Reggie said, I want to be number one. And then he sent a $110 super chat. And then Big L said, watch this, and dropped $115. So, wild stuff last night on today's show. If you want to be a part of the Ring of Honor, you just got to knock somebody off. We're about to get into the latest rumors on Donovan Mitchell. His trade value, according to Ian Begley, has dropped a little bit. We're also going to get into Cam Reddish apparently requesting a trade and him clapping back on Instagram. And then we got some quotes from Brian Windhorst, who has said that Donovan Mitchell would love to be a Miami Heat. And that, my friends, broke my heart. Brian Windhorst said that Donovan Mitchell would love to be a Miami Heat. We have 430 people watching right now. We're 35 subscribers away from getting to 13K. hit that sub button. Let's get to 13,000 subscribers, and let's get into the video right now about Cam Reddish and Donovan Mitchell's trade value going down. You are watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We have a loaded show today on the docket for you guys. Cam Reddish, according to Marc Berman, has requested a trade from the New York Knicks. He then went to Instagram and said something about it. We also have quotes from Brian Windhorst, who has said that Donovan Mitchell would love to play for the Miami Heat. We're going to break that down. And Ian Begley is reporting that the Jazz asking price for Donovan Mitchell has gone from 4 unprotected first-round picks to 3 unprotected first-round picks. So the price for Donovan Mitchell is dropping as we go deeper and deeper into these negotiations. Let's look exactly at what Ian Begley said in his write-up last night. He said, based on what I'd heard from people briefed on the talks, I'd expect Utah to covet Quentin Grimes in any current or future trade talks. Utah had sought one of Grimes, Obi, and Emmanuel Quickley in several packages, including some that included RJ Barrett. So I'd assume that the Jazz would want at least 2 of those players in any deal moving forward. The sticking point will probably be Grimes and the value of the first-round picks New York is willing to include. In prior talks, the Jazz wanted New York to increase its offer of 2 unprotected picks in various packages discussed. Previously, the Knicks had been unwilling to meet Utah's high asking price of picks and players in any packages that didn't include RJ Barrett. Will that change now that Barrett is off the table? It's more likely that the Knicks engage a third team that can send draft compensation to Utah. He also said the Lakers, who had previously expressed strong interest in Cam Reddish, are reportedly open to trading Russell Westbrook, which seems like a logical candidate. They have tradable first-round picks and need a shooter. New York's Evan Fournier, a strong perimeter shooter, would almost certainly be in any Mitchell deal for salary purposes. Several of New York's decision makers are opposed to including Derrick Rose in a trade. So not only did Danny Ainge want RJ Barrett, 2 unprotected first-round picks, he wanted Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, or Emmanuel Quickley as well. That is BS. That, my friends, is unbelievable. How do you turn down a trade offer of 2 unprotected first-round picks and RJ Barrett, and you come back with, we want one of your other superstar players? I can't believe it. Let's get the FDAs in the chat rolling, because the guy's smoking rocks at this point. Do you really think you're going to be able to get RJ Barrett, 2 unprotected picks, and Quentin, IQ, or Obi? That's unbelievable. That is unacceptable for Danny Ainge. Type FDA in the comments. Let's get that flooded. Also, if you haven't yet, hit that big red button. Subscribe to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports, because we are on the doorstep of getting to 13,000 subscribers on the channel. We're doing it for Mark Jackson. So if you love the Knicks and you're looking for a one-stop shop on YouTube that does nothing but put out videos every single day on the latest Knicks news and rumors, you found your spot. Hit that big red button. Knicks videos every single day. So let's rewind the clock a little bit. Last week, Shams Charania reported that the New York Knicks offered Obi Toppin, Evan Fournier, additional salary, most likely Miles McBride, and 5 first-round picks, 2 of those being unprotected. Danny Ainge said, no deal. I ain't doing it. Then the Knicks went back with a trade offer of RJ Barrett and 2 unprotected first-round picks. Danny Ainge said, no, I want either Grimes, Quickley, or Toppin on top of that deal. I cannot believe he said no to that. So this is what I think a trade would have to look like. I truly believe at this point you are going to have to give up Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, and 3 unprotected first-round picks. The Knicks know they got to, if they want Mitchell, if they truly covet Donovan Mitchell going from Salt Lake City to New York, they're going to have to up their offer. And I think this is a deal that the Jazz should accept. They would accept this. And I believe that the New York Knicks would be willing to make a trade like this. Seeing Grimes go would suck. But you got to spend money to make money. It costs to be the boss. And if you want Donovan Mitchell in the Mecca wearing blue and orange, this is a trade you're going to have to send out. Tim Bontemps of ESPN said this morning, and I agree with him. The Knicks have been strong. Leon Rose has stood his ground, and Bontemps said that. He said, the Knicks, to their credit, ever since Rudy Gobert got traded, have been operating from a position of strength in the Donovan Mitchell trade talks. And we've talked about that time and time again. I think the Knicks have the leverage in this case because the Jazz have made it so apparent that they want to trade Donovan Mitchell. They have called every team in the NBA, and they've called the Knicks time and time again. They want to trade him. Do they want to keep him to build around him? Not a chance. They want to keep him, though, to trade him. Their plan is to trade Donovan Mitchell and get a king's ransom. And the Knicks know if they want to get Donovan Mitchell, they're going to have to increase their offer. And we kind of got some light on what the Jazz and Danny Ainge value, because Shams Charania earlier this week reported the Jazz value just 3 players on the New York Knicks roster. That's RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Quentin Grimes. And with RJ Barrett signing that extension with the poison pill in there, it makes it really hard, nearly impossible, according to Woj and Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report, to include RJ Barrett in a trade for Donovan Mitchell. So that leaves Obi and Grimes. And I truly believe this. I don't think a deal gets done without Grimes and Toppin. Like, if you want Donovan Mitchell and you're the New York Knicks, the asking price is Grimes and Toppin. So that's where we're at this point. It's going to be Grimes, Toppin, probably 2-3 unprotected first-round picks. I want to go to this quote, though, from Brian Windhorst, who this one hurt my heart a little bit. He said, I think Donovan Mitchell would love to play for Miami. I think the Heat would love to have him. And I'm being honest as I can right here. I can't handle this. I cannot handle seeing Donovan Mitchell not being traded to the New York Knicks and him landing with the Miami Heat. That'd break my heart. It honestly would. That would be LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh again. I already hate the Heat as much as I do. And to see him go play for the Heat, that would just be the knife in the back, man. I don't know if I could bounce back from that. So let's just get the type F Miami. Just F Miami in the chat. FMIA. Let's get it going. You can type whatever you want. FMIA. F morning. Whatever you want to do. Get the FMIAs in the chat right now. Also, if you're a real one, get your real one t-shirt. Because I got mine today, and once I put it on, I just got in a better mood. It made me realize that I'm a real one. You be a real one. Get your shirt today. Chatsports.com/real Knicks. That's chatsports.com/real Knicks. That that link is in the comments and description of today's show. If you get a picture or if you get a shirt, take a picture of it. Send it to me on Twitter and we'll put you on the show. News of the day. Marc Berman reported that Cam Reddish wants a change of scenery away from the New York Knicks. And then Cam Reddish went to Instagram and said, no, I didn't. He said, when did I do that? Y'all be tripping. So we have some conflicting reports here. We'll pull up the quotes from Marc Berman in a second. But Berman is reporting that Reddish is not happy with the role he has with the New York Knicks. He put out the piece. And then Cam Reddish, because it is his birthday, you can type HBD in the chat if you want to. He pretty much said, no, I didn't. But this is what Marc Berman had to say about the Cam Reddish trade request. He said, the Post has learned Reddish wants a change of scenery from New York after he was traded there in January, and it didn't initially crack the rotation to build confidence. An NBA source said Reddish is looking for a larger role. The Lakers have interest in the 6'8" Reddish and could be part of a 3-team deal with Mitchell. If they aren't included, the Knicks could do a separate deal with Los Angeles, perhaps to recoup a first-round pick they would lose in a Donovan Mitchell-Utah trade situation. So, conflicting stuff here, right? And that's why we do this show. We like to bring the latest news and rumors, and I give you my take on it. If Cam Reddish said he didn't request a trade, I believe him. But I do believe that Cam Reddish is a little bit frustrated with his role on the New York Knicks because this is a loaded team with young players. You got guys like RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes. You have a lot of young players that are all fighting for the same minutes. And if I was Cam Reddish, who requested a trade from the Atlanta Hawks for a bigger role, and now I don't have that bigger role, I would want to be traded. And if I get to go play in Los Angeles with the Lakers and LeBron James and the Clutch Sports gang, I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Reddish starts the season wearing the purple and gold. But let's take a look at what Cam Reddish has done so far through his NBA career. Didn't play good, honestly, at all when he came to the Knicks. And he had some good games, looked good against the Clippers. He had that 17-point game. I like the way him and RJ Barrett play together. Obviously, they had that connection dating back to Duke. But the guy shot 25% from three in 15 games with the Knicks. That's unacceptable. He's been okay throughout his career, but he's never been the most efficient player, never shooting above 41% in his NBA career. The talent is there. The potential is there. And he flashed it in the Eastern Conference Finals back in 2021 when he was a part of the Atlanta Hawks. He was great. 13.3 points per game in 3 games in the conference finals, almost 2 steals per night, and he was efficient. 57% from the deck and a scorching 73% from downtown. There's no doubt 6'8" Cam Reddish has the tools. He's silky smooth, can put it on the deck, can get to the hoop, can finish left hand, right hand, can pull up from the mid-range. He's a tough shot taker and a tough shot maker. But at the end of the day, you got to prove it on the court. Potential only lasts so long, and he's entering year 4 of his NBA career. I'm not saying it's anywhere close to being done, but I don't know if he'll ever reach that maximum potential with the New York Knicks. I don't know if there's an avenue where he can get the minutes he deserves and needs to become that player that he thinks he can be. So I want to ask this question. What to do with Cam Reddish? Let me know what you would do. Type K for keep, type T for trade. Sound off in the comments right now. And I also want to give a shout out to the real ones because I am officially now a real one, as my real one shirt has finally come in the mail. Get yours today, chatsports.com/real Knicks. And if you made it this far in the video, you're a real one. Drop a real one in the comments. Let's go. Darren Gale, Harlem Girl says keep. Tep says Reddish and RJ on the wings. The Knicks would actually have the best Ben in the NBA. Margaret says the backcourt will be too short. Another Kemba situation, but a better player. Anthony says, chat, love your channel. Let's stay pat. Danny the Snake won't win this one. Familia says trade. Frank says, who reported it, Mark? Let me take a look at Twitter, see if anything else is coming out.
So, Marsh, you said it earlier, when there's smoke, there's fire. Do you think Cam Reddish maybe has been talking a little bit and then maybe somebody took it or misinterpreted his words and then Berman kind of ran with it and then he saw it kind of pop out today on his birthday and he just kind of was like, that's not exactly what I said. What do you think, big picture, what do you think happened?
I think I think there's a lot of situations that could have played out. I mean, if you want, we can go 2-box here and just chop it up. Like, if you're Cam Reddish, right, and you requested a trade from the Atlanta Hawks because you weren't happy with your role, and you get traded to a team like the New York Knicks, and you learn that Tom Thibodeau wasn't a guy that was on board with you being traded, you'd be pretty pissed off, right? Like, that's something that would piss me off because I would believe, and my agent probably told me, that I'm going to be traded to the New York Knicks to get a bigger role. So I think both of what you said could be true. I think there could be Cam may want to be traded, and he might have told someone who told someone who told someone a little game of telephone. But I don't know if he actually went to the New York Knicks and said, I demand a trade. I think the Knicks might just know, hey, we don't have the minutes unless we trade for Donovan Mitchell. And if we don't, you're not going to have the ability, I think, to really blossom into the player you are? What do you think?
So let me ask you this first. Where is he in the rotation? Like, no Donovan Mitchell trade happens, nothing happens. Where is he getting minutes, like, in the backcourt?
That's a great question because I'm going to move over a roster court right here. But, like, it's a full team.
And especially with that backcourt. Like, I mean, still with D Rose and Jalen Brunson running the point. But, like, he's not ahead of Grimes or Quickly in the rotation, correct?
Yeah, and then you still got Evan Fournier.
That's a good point.
So I just moved over the roster court, and we'll talk about that in a second. I think it's a good point that you brought up. If you don't trade for Donovan Mitchell, where's RJ Barrett going to get the minutes? I mean, not RJ Barrett, excuse me. Where's Cam Reddish going to get the minutes? Because when you look at this rotation here, where is he going to play? You have Jalen Brunson at the 1. Quentin Grimes, I think, starts at the 2 if you roll with this squad. I have RJ at the 3. Julius Randle at the 4, and Mitchell Robinson at the 5. And then off the bench, you have Quickly and Rose, you have Evan Fournier, you have Cam Reddish, and you have Obi Toppin. That's 5 guys right there that all need minutes. And not to mention, you have Isaiah Hardenstein and Jericho Sims, and I think Hardenstein's going to get run at the 4 and the 5 this season. You look at this roster right here, Thibs. Where is he going to play?
That's why I think maybe the trade request or trade demand is somewhat true
I
because of this.
I think there's a shred of truth.
Because he's not going to be okay with just sitting on the bench the entire year.
No.
Like getting 10
because he's about to be a free
minutes.
agent too. This
Okay,
is last
huge.
year on a deal. He doesn't want to go into free agency after not playing.
That's interesting. Especially on his birthday, he's got to deal with all this.
Yeah, that is. Cam Reddish on Instagram says, I don't know what's up with the media. How they gonna lie on my birthday? Crazy world, man. So Cam Reddish has doubled and tripled down on saying that this trade is not true. But Thibs, if you were Cam Reddish and you got traded from the Hawks to the Knicks because you wanted a bigger role and you probably believed you were getting a bigger role because the trade happened and you only didn't really play all that much, how would you feel?
I mean, I would be, especially if you're a young player and what was he picked out of college? He was a top 10.
He was a lottery pick, maybe like number 11.
Yeah, when he got to Atlanta, I mean, I don't know. I would definitely be a little pissed off because I felt like, obviously to develop into the best player he can be, he's going to need a lot of touches. But it's definitely interesting. And I don't know why. That's why I'm curious where Marc Berman got this from because Cam seems like he's doubling and tripling down on this.
Cam Reddish has officially come out and said it's not true. He actually, so I don't know where this is. He replied somewhere on Instagram and just put the cap emoji. So he's saying it's cap. He said 3 times now that the report is not true. So Harlem Girl says a good coach will utilize all of his talent, 100%. But only thing I'd bounce back with that is we just showed you the roster. Where's the minutes for him? Tom Thibodeau has never been a guy dating back to his Chicago Bulls days to play 9, 10, 11, 12 people in a rotation. Thibs wants to keep it tight. He wants pause. He wants to play everybody 35, all the starters, 40 minutes per game. And if you're playing Randall, Brunson, and RJ 35 minutes and Quentin Grimes 30, where the hell are the minutes for him? Does he deserve minutes? Yes. But
and D Rose is still going to get his type. I mean, see, I'm just kind of looking at it right here. If you look at Cam Reddish, he's a 2 or a 3. He can play either, probably. Even maybe
I think him and RJ are interchangeable at the 2 and the 3.
Okay. RJ is going to, like you said, RJ is getting his 35 to 40 minutes with Thibs. Quentin Grimes, he seems like a Thibs guy that he'll play. I mean,
Thibs pushed hard for Quentin Grimes to be drafted, and he's pushing hard to keep him in a Mitchell deal.
So he'll play more. And then Quickly and Rose, would you say they're ahead of him in Thibs' rotation?
Yes.
Okay. Fournier. Probably,
right? Unfortunately, I'd rather see Cam get the minutes, but Fournier's a proven player. Averaged 17, 18 points last year and set the record for the most threes made by a Knick in franchise history.
And Toppin, who can play the 3, he's ahead of him as well.
Yeah, and there's been some talk about playing Cam Reddish at the small ball 4. But, I mean, I'd love to see a lineup of Mitchell Robinson, RJ, Brunson, Reddish, and Grimes, right? 3 wings with a point guard and a center, but when have we seen Tom Thibodeau do that? That's not his game.
And plus Cam Reddish, he just strikes me as somebody who doesn't necessarily give the most effort on the defensive side of the floor. I think he views himself as kind of like a mellow type of bucket getter. And I feel like in the Tom Thibodeau system, like to crack his rotation, you need to prove yourself on defense
You
first.
have to earn it in his stuff.
Like Jimmy Butler, for example. He was the 30th pick out of Marquette. Only a defensive guy. He had to work his tail off to kind of crack Thibs' rotation. Thibs is a tough guy to crack, but yeah, we'll see.
I put a weigh-in at the very bottom. Type me. We have 600 plus people watching right now, and I know that not all of you guys are subscribed. So let's change that right now. If you're a subscriber, I want you to type, oh my gosh. Never mind. We have some super chats to get to that I just saw came through. Okay, we'll do that in a second. If you're a subscriber, type me in the comment section right now. Because look, we are 30 subs away from getting to 13,000 subscribers. If we get to 13,000 subs right now, we're going to party. And I know we can do it because I know not all 635 of you guys are subscribed. Shout out to Say Hey, Connor, Tom, Harlem Girl, Margaret, Berto, JJ, Thomas Davis, Artuo, Jay, Melo Martinez, JJ, Tep, Diesel D, Face, Tyler, T-Money, OG, Ebony and Ivory, Tom, Johnson, Fat Boy, Monkey with Wrench Bill, John. If you're a subscriber, type me. I'll give you a shout out. Let's ride. Let's get to 13,000 subs right now. Let's do it. We're 29 away. 29 subs away. Let's do it. Shout out to Michael, Mothman, Sitting Solo, SB Grilla, Cornelius, Ty Clemens, Mr. Reg. Mark said he subscribed yesterday. You're officially a real one. Day Ross, Webb. My guys, if you're a subscriber, type me. And if you're not subscribed, hit that big red button because we put out New York Knicks videos every single day. There's no other channel on YouTube that covers the Knicks and puts out videos every single day. We do. Subscribe. Hit that big red button. Shout out to my guy Ty Clemens for sending in a $10 super chat. Remember, every $10 super chat, I'll take a shot of Fireball. He says, Marshall for president. I can't even name probably more than 15 presidents, so it's probably not me. He says, Cam in a 3-team trade to the Lakers, and we get the Spider, and Utah gets Westbrook, 3 picks from the Knicks, 2 from the Lakers, plus a player or 2. For the Lakers to give up multiple unprotected first-round picks, they're going to need more than just Cam Reddish, right? If I'm the Lakers, I'm only including those unprotected picks if I'm getting like a Bojan Bogdanovic, a Mike Conley, a Cam Reddish. Jordan Clarkson's a good name. Like, those are the type of guys I want from Utah if I'm having to include the only 2 first-round picks I can trade until 2029. Like, if you are going to give up those trades, that's what the Lakers are going to want. We're 22 subs away. Let's go. 22 subs away. Hit that big red button. Let's go. Ty, thank you for the $10 super chat. I think a 3-team trade is definitely on the table. I wouldn't be surprised if that's how this ultimately goes down. I find it hard for the Lakers to be giving up multiple first-round picks if they're only getting Cam Reddish. You know what I'm saying?
Is there another team, like a
4th team?
No. Besides the Lakers, because I feel like for the 3-team trade, we're always talking about the Lakers. Is there another team that's kind of a sleeper that you've heard of at all that wants to get involved in this?
I've heard some smoke about the Suns being interested in Julius Randle, but I don't know how deep that goes. Maybe the Suns try to go grab a couple vets from the Jazz. Maybe they try to go get another shooter in Bogdanovic. Maybe another bucket getter off the bench in Jordan Clarkson. They throw in an unprotected first, maybe something like that. But the only team that's been linked is the Los Angeles Lakers. But there's been smoke that the Suns could be a team that can get involved. But I don't know. I think it's the Lakers as a 3-team deal or bust because I think there was another team out there this ish would have got done already. Shout out to Hunter, sending in a $5 super chat. You think we moving Randall after this? I think it's best even if we don't get anything crazy back. Also, stream my new album, If Money Was an Object. Let's ride. I'd love to jam that. Send it to me on Twitter. I think the Knicks are rolling with Randall this year, man. I really do. I think if there was a trade out there already for Julius Randle, it would have already been made, right? Like, I think a trade for Randall would have already been made if it was on the table. I know you said dump him for nothing, but I'm not really in that camp because I think Randall, if you don't have Mitchell and you just have Brunson, I think Brunson, I don't think you can ever make Randall that most improved player ever again, but I think a guy like Jalen Brunson can get the absolute most out of him.
Do you think maybe they're hanging on to Randall for like a month or two in the season, trying to get his stock a
I think
little
that's
higher?
definitely an option. See if he can play his stock up a little bit because no matter if you love Julius or you hate Julius, you have to admit, honestly, that last year was not a good year for him. And it lowered his trade value. The Knicks were trying to trade him at the deadline. They couldn't find a deal. That's why they came out and that's why they haven't traded him, because there's no deal on the table that's worth anything that they deem as valuable. Shout out to Quentin Gilman, a real one. My guy sends in a $5 super chat. Yo, if they trade young players and 3 mother effing unprotected picks, say goodbye to the future 6th or 7th place team for 5 years, telling Danny Ainge to GTFOA. Give my guy Quentin some love in the comments. That's a fire chat. I love that.
He's pretty much just speaking what you've been.
Yeah, honestly,
preaching.
we are on the same wavelength here. I'm not trading. He says if they trade young players. So Quentin, you would only include one of Obi or Grimes? Is that what you're saying? Because I'm going to be honest, guys. I don't think a deal gets done unless both are involved. And I could see Grimes maybe getting a deal done if it's something like Grimes, Fournier, quickly, and 3 unprotected. That's probably what it would have to be, and that way you can keep Obi, but...
Is yours still Mark 3 unprotected? You're never, like, that's not even on the table.
I'm not going over 3.
I agree with you.
I wouldn't go over 3 unprotected because...
Tell them about your Anthony Davis thing. Like, in general, like, it's like, not specifically for Anthony Davis, but...
A lot of people are like, why don't they just do 4 unprotected? It's because the Knicks want to keep assets in their pocket to make another trade. Because they know, you know, and I know that trading for Donovan Mitchell does not make this team a finals contender. There is another move that has to be made. And the Knicks want to stay available with unprotected first-round picks, as well as some of their protected picks, and maybe a guy like RJ, or maybe a guy like Quentin Grimes later to go and trade for another superstar. The idea is to trade for Donovan Mitchell, then trade for someone else, and then go sign someone in the summer of 2025. That is the plan for Leon Rose. So for everybody that's saying give all 4 unprotected first-round picks, you're going to be in the same situation as the Lakers, where they traded everything they had in the treasure chest for Anthony Davis. Did it get them a ring? Yes, absolutely. But they haven't been able to make another big move because they don't have first-round picks. They can only trade a first-round pick not until 2027. That is a long time. You don't want to be in that situation.
And plus, they were trading for a prime Anthony Davis. It's different than a prime Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, like AD coming from the Pelicans is a way better trade chip than Donovan Mitchell.
We were also saying it last night. AD in that bubble run, that finals run, I mean, he looked like the best player in the NBA. I mean, I know LeBron got finals MVP, but AD, what he can do defensively, I mean, it's just different. So I agree with Marsh on saying just cut it off at 3 unprotected max. Try to get 2. I
like what Margaret's saying. She said Knicks are not win now mode. Knicks are rebuild. So I think they're in the middle. They're not rebuilding and they're not win now, but they're building on the fly to win in a couple of years. Adding Donovan Mitchell does not make you a win now team, Margaret. I 100% agree. But making a move for Donovan Mitchell is a move to become a winner. And you want to not give up everything you have. Therefore, you can continue to build and retool and reload on the fly. I think you're right on the money here, Margaret. They're not in win now mode, but I wouldn't say a rebuild. I think they're in a retooling and a reloading position because a lot of people, I'm not saying you say this, Margaret, but a lot of people are saying that let's just build through the draft. Let's just hold on to all the young guys and build through the draft. How is that possible when you have 10 players on this roster younger than 25 years old, and you have 22 picks over the next 7 years, and you have it's either 7 or 6 first-round picks in the next 3 years? You can't play all the young kids you already have and then give minutes to the guys that you're going to draft. At some point, the New York Knicks will have to consolidate assets and make a trade. You can't play all the young guys, and you can't go and draft 7 more first-round players in the next 3 years. You just can't do both. $5 super chat from my guy Hassan. What's good, bro? Shout out to you. He says, I'm ready to move on from this Mitchell trade. Mitchell is the guard version of Melo. Wow. If we get the guard version of Melo, that's a damn good basketball player. I don't get the hate with Carmelo Anthony, man. If Carmelo Anthony played in the 1990s, he would have won rings. Could you imagine Carmelo in an ISO situation where help defense was literally against the rules? You could not play help defense in the 1990s, in the 80s. It was a defensive violation. You couldn't play your man and someone else. You had to be within arm's length of the guy you're guarding him. I'm going to be honest. Donovan Mitchell isn't even close to the player Carmelo Anthony is. If there was no LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony would have been the face of the NBA. And I know you could say that for a lot of people, but LeBron is the best player arguably ever. Like, Melo is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer and is a top 10 bucket getter that has ever touched a basketball.
Yeah, people forget my favorite Melo story is from Kobe. He was saying Melo was the one dude I couldn't figure out how to guard because of his physicality and that short post area. Yep. Melo was a guarantee.
That Melo mid-range jab step. A lot of people, like a lot of fans hate on Melo, but talk to any NBA player, they know he's a dog, bro.
So
and that's how you know who's who. You can't tell me, you can't bash on Melo when the best player he ever played alongside in his prime was a broken down Amari Stoudemire. Yeah. That's not fair. Give Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, he might have won a ring. Give him a point guard. The best point guard he ever played with was with the Knicks. Who was it? Jeremy Lin?
Yeah.
Like, there was never a point guard Carmelo played with. Raymond Felton was good that one season in at the second go-round, but he was no superstar. He never had a top-flight point guard. Hassan, I appreciate the super chat, my guy, but ain't no Melo slander coming from me, brother. Mr. Reg with a $10 super chat. I'm going to take a shot for my guy, Mr. Reg. Reg, if you have a question, please ask it. Tep says Chauncey. So Chauncey Billups with the Knicks was the best point guard he ever played with?
That was a wash.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
Thomas says, if Knicks get Mitchell, next year we get Giannis.
If the Knicks ever get Giannis,
oh my God.
Watch out.
Giannis is coming to the Bulls, buddy. But we got another one.
Another super chat?
From Romello.
Romello Anthony. The Melo slander is insane. The biggest knock on his career is he fell short against Kobe in the West and LeBron in the East. That's a pretty damn good thing to fall short to.
That sums it up pretty damn well.
That's two top 5 players to ever touch a freaking basketball. Say hey, says J Kid with the Knicks. Johnson says Pablo Prigioni. Arturo says Baron Davis. Michael says Jason Kidd. Donald is saying Giannis is on the way. I don't believe that. Not a chance. Giannis ain't leaving Milwaukee.
Yeah, I feel like he's a for lifer there.
I do too. There's no reason for him to leave.
And plus, he's really embraced that city.
100%. All righty. We have 600 people watching, and we're 13 subs away. 13 subscribers away from getting to 13,000 subs. 13 subs away. If you're subscribed, type me in the comment section for a shout out. I want to get to 13,000 subs right now. I know not all 585 of you guys are subscribed, so hit that big red button. Why would you subscribe to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports? Because we put out videos every single day on the latest Knicks news, Knicks rumors, We go live at least once a week. We're going to be doing post-game shows live after games this season. The content on this channel is only going to heat up. We have been growing like crazy. That's a credit to you guys. Become a real one. Hit that big red button and subscribe. We are 8 subscribers away from 13,000. Let's get there right now. Let's go. If you haven't yet, hit that big red button. Let's ride. 13,000 subs. Let's do it. Let's do it for Mark Jackson. Let's go. 13K. I'm going to the live sub count number. Let's see what we're at here. We're 6 subs away. Hit that big red button. Let's go. Let's get to 13K right now. Shout out to Carl, T Money, Say Hey, Jet Life, Peter, D Frya, Salim, Peter. I'm losing my voice. 5 subs away. We are 5 subs away. Let's go. Hit that big red button. Let's get to this super chat from my guy. Let's ride. Latinx Travel Club. Let's roll. $10 super chat. Shot. We're 2 subs away. Who's going to be the 13,000 subscriber? We are 2 subs away. We're 1 sub away. We're 1 sub away. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? 1 away. Let's go. We're 13,000 subscribers on the channel. I'll take a shot to that. I'll take a shot for my guy Latinx. And I'm going to take another shot for getting to 13,000 subs. Because that, my friends, is incredible. We have nearly tripled this channel's sub count in the past 90 days. That's incredible. To 13,000 subs. The fastest growing channel that covers the Knicks on YouTube. Let's go. If you're a real one, drop a real one in the comment section because I want to give love to some real ones because 13,000 subs is no joke. 13,000 subs is no joke and we couldn't have done it without you guys. So if you're a real one, drop a real one in the comment section. Shout out to Peter, Carl, Fabian, Quentin, J2, Music, Tom, Peter, D. Frya, Sue, Say, Tom, Michael, Brandon, Carl, Duke, Tommy, Harlem Girl, Malik, Salim Fields, Berto, Brandon Perry, D. Frya Truck, Tep, Quentin Gilman, Mr. Reg, Joel Santos, The Amazing Card Ninja, Ty Clemens, Margaret Edwards, Winston Hutchinson, Peter says, Marsh, I have a question. Ask away, brother. Shout out to Raphael, Diesel D, Artuo, Sydney, Tony, Silver Ghost, Romello, Nathaniel Alston, my guy. What's up, bro? Diesel D, Day Ross. 13,000 subs on the channel. Let's freaking go. That's big time. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to y'all. That's awesome. What do we want to do here? We just got to 300 likes. Hit that like button. 544 people watching. We're at 307 likes. Hit that like button. Every 100 likes, we're going to do a shot. And if you want to be a part of the Super Chat Ring of Honor here at Chat Sports, it's a steep hill. I'm going to be honest. It's a steep hill because these guys and ladies, they do not play around. This one's for 300 likes. Shout out to you guys. Yo, let's go. Let's freaking go. Peter says, Marsh, would the Knicks give up Fournier, Grimes, and 3 unprotected picks for DM? Would the Knicks do it?
I don't know. Would you do it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I would do it.
You would do it?
I would do it. 3 unprotected and Grimes, I would do it. I don't think the Jazz do that, though. There's no way the Jazz do that, right?
No.
They turned down RJ Barrett in 2 unprotected. Why would they take Quentin Grimes in 3? Even maybe Danny Ainge values Grimes ahead of him. I don't know. Let's go to this one. J2 DeB Music says, trade them picks. We ain't got time waiting on some 15, 16, or 17-year-old in high school. Right now, hopefully become a real deal NBA player. Screw these picks. So the picks, I'm just going to call you J2.
J2.
J2, the reason they're not saving these picks to make the picks, bro. They're saving these picks to make another trade. That's what they're doing. So you're right. That 15, 16, and 17-year-old guy in high school, I don't give a damn about him. But I do give a damn about a potential trade for another superstar that you would be willing to make if you only trade 3 or 2 unprotected picks.
Yeah.
It's not about the picks you're going to keep to make the picks.
Kind of like what Marsh was saying earlier. Also, like, Donovan Mitchell doesn't make the Knicks a title contender, but he definitely kind of puts them on the right track. Because Donovan Mitchell could be a 1B on a championship team. It definitely can be a 2. But this one from Diesel D. He says, hey, I got a question. What does the panel think about the head coach? Thibs just isn't doing it for me. So I'm a Bulls fan. So obviously I maybe have a little more bias towards Thibs, but I also understand that Thibs has his downsides. Marsh, I would love to know what you have to think, because Thibs kind of transitioning to the modern day NBA game. He reminds me of that old defensive coordinator in football, kind of like Mike Zimmer or like whoever it was the past couple years. Personally, I think Thibs will get the most out of this team defensively with guards like Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell, who people don't really view as the most talented defensive guards. But I think with just the culture and kind of like the game planning ability he has, I think with this Knicks roster, what you guys will see defensively next year, even with just Jalen Brunson, he will, like, you'll notice it. But overall, I'm definitely still debating in my head.
My thing on Thibs, and we've talked about this before, is he the Mark Jackson of the Knicks like he was for the Warriors, to where he's going to turn Steph and Clay into real, and Draymond into real NBA players, and then you have another coach that comes in and takes you over the top. I think this is a very similar situation. Can Thibodeau get a defensive mindset in a guy like, say you trade for Donovan Mitchell, make him become a dog, make Jalen Brunson a bigger dog, and RJ Barrett, like, get those guys to the point. Because I do think there's a ceiling with Tom Thibodeau. I think his lack of offensive creativity just naturally puts a ceiling on him, right? His inability and refusal to change, right? Like his refusal to play small ball, his refusal to play 5 out. I think it's going to be his downfall. And I said this about Russell Westbrook. I was talking with my brother after the live stream last night. Thibodeau is like Westbrook. Their biggest strength is also their greatest weakness. Whereas Russell is so good, and he does stuff so well at such a high energy and stuff rate, that's also what makes him his worst enemy. Like, sometimes he goes too hard. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes he takes those crazy shots. It works. Sometimes it doesn't. Tom Thibodeau, his great defense, his old school nature of trying to hold teams to under 95 points is also his biggest strength, but his biggest weakness on the offensive end, because being so defensive minded takes you away from being that elite team on offense. You just can't do as much as you want on offense if you're so concerned and stuck on controlling the pace, not playing too fast, limiting possessions, always having a rim protector in. That limits your creativity on offense. Does that make sense, Thibs?
Yeah, I agree. And plus with the minutes thing, like, I feel like he's still, like, he doesn't understand. I mean, he probably does, but maybe he's just so stuck in his ways of playing these guys 40 minutes. Like, I'm sorry. There's no reason for certain guys to be playing 40-plus minutes in a regular season game anymore.
No.
It's an open gym in the NBA in the regular season.
Thibs is the type of guy you'll be up 15 points and he'll still have the starters in with a minute left.
Yeah, well,
it's like, bro, take the starters out.
Yeah.
And RJ Barrett got hurt last year because of that.
Yeah.
Margaret is saying, I don't think Donovan Mitchell is a player Thibs will want. So once again, we're going to go back to Marc Berman. Do what you want with Marc Berman's reports. But Marc Berman reported that Tom Thibodeau has been pushing this trade. He wants the trade to go through. He values proven veterans over young rookies and draft picks. The quote from Berman was that Tom Thibodeau thinks the draft is a crapshoot. So I think Mitchell or Tom Thibodeau wants Mitchell because, let's be honest, trading for Mitchell makes you a better team right now. Does it get you in a spot to be a finals contender? I don't know, but I think Thibodeau does want Donovan Mitchell. I'm kind of on the opposite side, Margaret. I understand that he's not no defense, but let's go back to him when he was coming out of college. 6'10" wingspan. He was talked about as a guy, as a great defender, coming out of Louisville, coached by Rick Pitino, elite quickness. I think Thibodeau can get the most out of Mitchell on the defensive end. I'm not sure if that makes him an elite defender, a good defender, but can he be an above-average defender? I think he can.
And I think Thibs can also hide guys he used to hide
Team
D-Rose.
defense.
Yeah, he used to hide D-Rose a lot back in Chicago where, yes, we had guys like Luol Deng that was an elite perimeter defender, but who says RJ and Mitch Robinson can't kind of make up for the lack of defense in the backcourt? So I think this is interesting, though. I'll let Marsh kind of take this. I want his thoughts on this because he talked about it.
He performed well without a crowd, but as soon as playoff came along with a crowd, he failed to perform. In order for him to be successful this season, he has to block out the crowd and focus. I think sometimes Julius Randle gets too caught up in all the outside noise, like the thumbs down thing where he told the fans to pretty much to go F off. As a player, you can't always be worried about that. You need to focus in. And I think there's a direct correlation, Dennis, and I think you're right on the money here, that he played his best basketball when there was no fans in the crowd. And I think that had an effect on a lot of people in the NBA, and I think Julius Randle was a beneficiary of that.
And with the playoff thing, I just don't think Randle's game translates very well to the playoffs.
Because when a team can watch film and game plan specifically every single night for a team, a good coach can coach his team to stop Randle.
Yes, and when you can get in a half-court set, I mean, you can just kind of run one guy at him as he's about to drive or when he's about to make his move. And
it's not the best passer out of drives.
Yeah.
He can do it, but he's not the best.
And he's not the most efficient guy in the world either.
He's a tough shot taker and tough shot maker. I think Randle is best when he's playing with tempo, when he's using that fast break and used as a pick-and-roll guy. And he's turned into this ISO mid-range jab step machine with the Knicks, and it kind of makes no sense to me.
But we talked about it with his stats with D Rose compared to Alec Burks.
Yeah.
Like a true point guard. So Jalen Brunson, that's why I think they should hang on, and I think they will hang on to him for a month or two. See what he can do with Brunson.
I think Brunson will bring the best out of Randle, and I think Brunson's the type of guy where, say Randle in Game 3 of the season, right, reverts back to old Randle where he thinks he's the dog and he takes the shots and he's not being a team player. I think Brunson's the type of guy that could get in his face and be like, yo, bro, we're not doing that anymore. I'm not saying this is my team. I'm not saying it's not your team. It's our team. But we're not playing like that anymore. That's not a winning brand of basketball. I think Brunson is going to come over and be a leader, as well as a damn good basketball player.
And listen, Brunson, his whole life, he went to Stevenson in Chicago, Illinois. They won 2 state championships when he was there. He went to Nova. He won 2 national championships when he was there. And then once the Mavericks kind of finally started asserting themselves in the playoffs, he had 41 in the playoffs. I just think Brunson's a winning guy. He instills a winning culture. So I agree. I think he will hold Randle accountable. I don't think this will be Randle's team. And I think
we need to get out of that mindset. This isn't Randle's team.
Yeah, it's not.
Anymore.
It's just a team. There's no superstar on this team. It's not like there's a Giannis or KD.
Let's roll with Brunson, RJ, and Julius as our top 3, and let's go to work.
Yeah.
Good question, Dennis. Peter, Marsh, if I was Danny Ainge, I would ask for Obi, Fournier, and 3 unprotected. Would you take that? Yeah, if I was the Knicks, I'd do that deal. The Knicks offered Obi, Fournier, and 2 unprotected. Danny Ainge said no. I have a hard time believing adding one more unprotected would get it done. Do you think that deal gets it done?
I don't. I think Danny Ainge hangs up, but I think this one, if you throw in
I think you got
both of them.
Because go back to the Shams one. Shams reported that this was a trade offer the New York Knicks made and that the Utah Jazz declined. So that's kind of a baseline. We're kind of getting an understanding of what trades have been offered and what trades have been declined, right? So if this is the trade that was offered and declined, and then this trade was offered,
which is insane that
and
they declined this.
The reports are that Danny Ainge wanted either Grimes, Toppin, or Quickly added to this deal on screen. So he declined it. So I think where you meet in the middle now with taking RJ off the table, I think a deal has to look like this. Maybe you can get by having just two unprotected. I don't know. But I think it's going to have to be Grimes and Obi. I think it's got to be Grimes and Obi. I think this is what's got to be.
You think this is the trade? If any trade gets done, it has to be this, or do you think there's another variation, like throwing D Rose? Maybe they want him that bad.
Yeah, if I was Utah, I would want Rose and Reddish because that's $19 million of expiring salary.
Good point.
I don't understand why we are so hell bent on keeping Derrick Rose. I love Derrick Rose.
Who doesn't love D Rose?
But he's a 35-year-old player that played 26 games last year. Like, at some point, you have to remove your heart from the conversation and talk business. Derrick Rose has, 1 or 2 more years left? And he's a very valuable player because he's $14 million of expiring salary. That's a lot. Mitchell makes 30. You're almost turning a $30 million player that has 3 years left on his deal to an expiring $14 million. If you add Cam Reddish, that's an expiring $5 million. You only have to get to $24 million going back to salary to the Utah Jazz. You're $5 million away. Throw in Grimes and Toppin and let's freaking roll. Get the deal done. I want to see Donovan Mitchell game 1 against Ja Morant wearing a white, orange, and blue uniform. If you want Donovan Mitchell on the Knicks, type 45 in the comments. If you want Donovan Mitchell on the Knicks, type 45 in the comments. Margaret says Rose is insurance in case Mitchell gets hurt. Donovan Mitchell doesn't get hurt.
No, yeah, he hasn't shown any history.
He hasn't shown it. RJ Barrett's your insurance if Donovan gets hurt. You can't hold on to a 35-year-old player and think that's not including Derrick Rose in the deal because you want to keep on to him because of loyalty it's preposterous. It's honestly ridiculous. It's honestly a slap in the face to this fan base. He's a 35-year-old player.
33.
33-year-old player.
But then again, he's a 33-year-old player who's had 2 knee surgeries on his left.
His body's 40.
His body's 45, 50, man.
What he's done to reinvent himself is one of the most impressive
it's awesome.
feats in the NBA that no one talks about. We got a $5 super chat from my guy. I'm going to be honest. I really was never that good of a reader, but A Polinar
is out.
I'm going to call you A.E. A Estrada. A Estrada. What do you think of the Eric Pincus proposed 3-team trade? So I saw that. Let me pull it up real quick.
I think this is the Russell Westbrook one.
Yeah. Hold on. I saw it yesterday. I kind of just scrolled past it because.
So what was the final?
I'm pulling it up. Give me a sec. Here we go. Yeah, it involved Russell Westbrook. Here it is. So it is Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gay to the Knicks, Evan Fournier, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Cam Reddish to the Lakers, with Westbrook, Toppin, and Grimes to the Jazz. Utah gets 3 to 5 first-round picks with 1 from L.A.
You don't think that could happen? Or what do you...
So if we're trading Obi and Grimes, how many firsts are we sending out?
2.
So if you trade 2, are the Lakers sending 2 first-round picks for Fournier, Bogdanovic, and Reddish?
I think they would.
If they would...
Because they're also dumping Westbrook. Like,
Yes,
that's something.
That costs at least one first-round pick to double Westbrook.
Yes. And you're getting Boyan and
Fournier, that's two
give
shooters that they
LeBron
need.
a shoot. I mean, that would put them back on
And Reddish, like a bench piece. I think you're right. Like if it only involves, I know I would do 3 unprotected first-round picks. I know I've said that, but I only want to give up 2.
Okay, so if that deal comes through, are you fine with giving up 3?
Yeah, because it's the furthest I would go, but I'd be happy, but still a lot. Like Toppin, Grimes, and 3 unprotected is a lot.
And Fournier, too. You're getting rid of a shooter.
Yeah, you're getting rid of a shooter in Fournier, and he's the salary matcher. Like, that's a lot. But, like, at the end of the day, you're getting a 25-year-old superstar that's a multi-time All-Star, has 2 50-point games in the playoffs. Like, who has that?
I'm trying to think who says no to that deal.
A lot of people in this chat.
Really?
Nobody. They do not want to trade Obi.
Would
you include Obi Toppin in a trade? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Would you include, great job, Thibs. Pick one of these guys. Who would you keep? Who would you want to keep out of these 3?
Because it's 1 max. It's 1 max, right? Like, there's no way you get to keep 2.
No, you're not keeping 2 of these guys.
Okay.
There's no way in hell you keep 2 of these guys.
Yeah,
kind of changed up the question on you guys a little bit. Pick one of these guys to keep. Who do you want to keep on this roster in a Donovan Mitchell trade?
And you've been saying Grimes.
I
You
say
would take
Grimes.
Grimes. Okay.
I got Grimes, Obi, Quickly.
Is there a big gap between Obi and Quickly?
There's a pretty sizable
Yeah.
gap because I think you could find 6'2" point guards that score much easier than a guy like Obi. I think like you can find scoring guards pretty easy.
Yeah.
And Quickly, he hasn't been all that efficient. When he's hot, he's hot. Like I'm in a Emmanuel Quickly stand, no doubt about it.
So can I ask you this, Marsh? This trade, if you just added Emmanuel Quickly, do you think it gets done, or would you do it?
I think it gets done, but I'm not doing it.
You wouldn't do that.
No,
I would.
I'm not trading RJ Barrett.
I know. Well, I've been under the impression that I wouldn't trade RJ. Probably I'll trade him straight up for Donovan Mitchell, but RJ and 1 unprotected, I would probably say no. Like, that's a tough one.
Why do we have to add sweetener to the 21-year-old budding superstar that
seriously.
averaged 24 points per game in the final 24 games of the season? Like, I know he wasn't the most efficient player, but he still shot 41.4% from the field in the final 42 games and averaged 23.6. What is it? Yeah, here it is. Look at that math right. Mental remembrance. 41.4. 23.5 points per game in the final 42 games with 3.5 assists. Like, those efficiency numbers aren't that bad. They're not great by any means. The three-point percentage is okay.
A 6'7" guy shooting 35% from 3 with while averaging damn near 24 a game at 21, 22. Come on. Yeah.
I don't know. Who would y'all keep? 1, 6, or 5? 1, 5, or 6? Who would you keep?
Interesting.
I know Harlem Girl says RJ is 22 now, but he finished that season at 21. So I'm going to continue to say, why would you trade someone that just averaged 23.6 points per game in the final 42 at 21?
Yeah.
I know he's 22, but he was 21 when he did what he did last year. That's kind of what I'm saying. Big L says 1. CJ says 1. Thomas said 6. Diesel says 5 or 6. Brandon 6. Monkey says Obi's 24. Obi is 24 years old. Donovan Mitchell's 25. That's another reason I would include Obi.
And Donovan Mitchell is 25 with 4 years of playoff experience.
Yeah.
Like, think about that.
I think Quentin Grimes, if you want to look that up, Seeps, I think he's 22, 23. I think he's 22. I think Grimes is 22. Larry says Obi is a bust. He ain't a bust.
22 for Quentin Grimes.
Quentin Grimes is 22. That's why I'd keep him. Because he still has 2 more seasons before he's the same age as Obi. Can you imagine Grimes going into year 4? That could be a guy that's a potential starting piece on a franchise that's contending for a finals, in my opinion. Like, I know we talk about Obi being 24 and Donovan Mitchell being 25, and the reason that's such a big deal is not just because they're 1 year difference in age, it's because of all the experience, like Seeps just said. Donovan Mitchell's 25 and already played in 40 career playoff games. That's half of an NBA season.
He's damn near averaging 30 a game in his playoff career with good splits. Like, he's legit, man. He's the real deal. These numbers are so impressive.
Dude, multiple 50-point games. He's given you 28 and 5 on 43% from the field and 37% from 3 and 40 playoff games. That is insane.
That's a huge sample size, too.
Yeah, that's half a season.
That's half of playoff basketball and playoff defense. Oh.
I'm doing it. Get this dude to New York. Let's
Yeah,
ride.
So, Marsh, you kind of mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, this is – I can't handle this. Brian Windhorst said that Donovan Mitchell would love to play for the Heat. Or he thinks Donovan Mitchell would love to play for the Heat. And this would break my heart. This would be like Carmelo playing with the Nets or Carmelo playing with the Heat. Like, I couldn't stand watching this. Like, okay, a lot of people say, I wouldn't include Obi. I wouldn't include Grimes, right? But would you do it to keep him from going to the Heat? I think it's a different question. Because at this point, if you don't make the trade, Danny Ainge will probably trade him somewhere else. He's not keeping
And
him.
he'll probably trade him in the East.
Yeah.
If he can.
And if he likes an offer of Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, one of their young players, and they can trade 2 picks, like.
Utah does like their white boys, too, so.
JJ's saying you're going overboard a little bit. What am I going overboard about, JJ? Please let me know. We'll put your comment up on screen. Let me know. But I want to give some love to Tom, who sent in a $10 super chat. F this. Let's go with this lineup, and we will see what happens at the trade deadline. Look, everyone's allowed to have their opinion. This is the lineup you'd go with. This is the squad. How many games do you win with this squad, Thibs? The over or under was 39.5 in Vegas. You won 37 last year with Alec Burks as your point guard.
If I had to guess, you'll be fighting for the 7-8 seed.
You are on the border of a
team.
playoff or a play-in team.
You're
You
still
are on the border.
Like, with RJ still developing and Brunson he'll average 22, 23 being the guy next year. Like, this is still a very, very good team. If you could get a lot out of Randall, but you are limited. Like, it will be a first-round exit most likely.
Yeah. And I'm going to take a shot real quick from my guy Tom because he sent in a $10 super chat. Tom, thank you for being a real one, my brother. All righty. So I'm being told by my boss that people need to get into the studio. We'll do this for the next 3 minutes. The next 3 minutes.
3 minutes remaining.
3 minutes. Every super chat that comes in the next 3 minutes, we'll answer those questions. We'll stay on live to answer those questions. Every super chat that comes in, we'll do that. If no supers come in the next 3 minutes, we will have to sign off. We are $21 away from getting to $100 in super chats. I'd love to get there. Harlem Girl says under 37. Sherwin says the Knicks will win 30 games this season.
Doubt it.
Sherwin, why are you being so negative? Negative Nancy. Sherwin says Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga hasn't proved shit in the NBA. Why? Like, that's what pisses me off about Knicks fans. We're saying Kuminga, Wiggins, OG, and Shea are better fits than Mitchell, who averages 28 points in the playoffs in 40 playoff games?
Yeah,
Will Chamberlain can come back from the dead and play in his prime, and people would be like, it's not a center league anymore. No, you take the superstar.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell. He's proven it. You guys have watched it. Like, you guys have seen it. You've seen him go to second rounds and make pretty good runs and putting the team on his back. You really think about the Jazz roster, besides him, who's another guy that you can throw the ball to and go get a bucket?
None.
Like, Jordan Clarkson's maybe the only other guy that.
And he's off the bench.
And he's off the bench.
He's spotting Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. Gobert is a great defender, but he's just a lob threat. Kind of holds you back offensively a little bit. But
That's what kind of pisses me off about Knicks fans. And I can say that because I am a Knicks fan. And I've done it too. We overrate our own, we underrate the stars we pursue, and we overrate other people. Like, this dude said, Sherwin, I love you. I love that you're a real one. But you cannot tell me that the cum bucket, Jonathan Kuminga, is a better fit for the New York Knicks. That's ludicrous. You don't believe that. You do not believe that.
And this, Nathaniel, this is a little ludicrous. Because Westbrook fitting with the Lakers and LeBron and AD.
Westbrook is how old? 32, 33 years old when he got traded. Donovan Mitchell's 25. Hasn't played his best basketball.
And Westbrook can't shoot.
Westbrook can't shoot, and he's played his best basketball already. This isn't even close to the same comparison. That's out of pocket. We got 18 seconds left. If we get to $100 in Super Chats, we're 20 away. We'll party. If not, we're gonna sign off. Let me know. If y'all want us to stay live, we will.
Michael Wilbon's in the comments, actually.
Is he?
No, right here. Read it.
With or without Donovan Mitchell, the Knicks' ceiling is the play-in tournament. With Mitchell, their ceiling is the play-in tournament? That's disrespectful. You get Donovan Mitchell, and I talked about this with my brother last night. I called him on the way home. You get Donovan Mitchell, I truly believe that the only teams that are absolutely better than you are...
Where the big ballers at?
Big ballers are asleep. The big ballers are asleep.
Yeah.
Where the big ballers at?
Big ballers are asleep. We're at $80 in soups. I'll take it.
50,
But
50 for a shotty faster than last week was good.
Chase Sr. said he'll do a beer shotgun for a $50 super chat under 4 seconds. Under 4 seconds.
Guaranteed.
2-1 was the record last week.
2-1 was the record. I believe if the Knicks trade for Donovan Mitchell, the only teams that are better than them are Boston, Milwaukee, a healthy Nets team.
Sixers, maybe.
I think we could beat the Sixers. I do. Who on their team is guarding Mitchell? Who on their team is guarding Brunson?
I mean, you could flip it. Who's guarding Embiid?
Mitchell Robinson. I think that's a much fairer matchup than James Harden having to guard Donovan Mitchell.
That's a good
I've seen
point.
Mitchell Robinson hold his own against primetime centers in this league. He made DeAndre Ayton his little pet.
It's just Embiid is.
Embiid's different. Like, it's going to be
Yeah.
tough, no doubt. But I think that it's possible that you're better at like, how good is James Harden going to be this year?
Yeah,
And
but
I'm not saying we're definitely. I'm saying we could be. The only teams I'm saying
it will
for
be a series.
Yes.
Like, if you match up, it's not going to be Sixers and 5. Like, it would probably be a 6-7 game series. But Marsh, we just eclipsed 100.
Oh, Tom sends in a $20 super chat. Let's go. My guy, let's go. Let's turn this to a party. I want to stay live on the channel, but we got to turn up because the studio space is being occupied. We got 20 more people out there that want to get in this studio. If we're not turning up, we're not going to be able to hold the studio space. My guy, he says, you guys are the best, Tom. You are officially the best. I'll take a shot for you, my guy.
What's up,
Oh,
a new
another
real
one. DJ Khaled, another one. Shout out to Ty Clemens. Marshall, you better believe Ty Clemens is a real one. Ty, I know you're a real one. I see you in the comments. I see you in every single video. You, my friend, are literally the definition of a real one. Marshall, what's a real one? It's someone that watches every single video. It's someone that comments on videos. It's someone that's in the chat making noise.
Oh, let's go. Guess who's here?
It's Rich Rob.
Guess who?
Oh, Rich Rob is in the house.
Flea's in the house, too. Shout out to Flea. Let's go.
Flea, hope you're having a good, what is it, Thursday? What's the
Thursday.
day of the week? Thursday?
Yeah.
Hope you guys are having a good one. We got 45 in separate supers. Five more dollar super chat, and we're going to do a beer shotgun from my guy Chase Sr.
Shout out to Rich, Melinda, and Flea joining in from the car.
No way.
That's what he said. Well, family watching in the car. Flea is here. Let's go.
Flea, Melinda, Rich, thank you for being real ones. Y'all guys choke me up a little bit sometimes, man. It's incredible. I put a weigh-in 3 at the bottom. I want to capitalize on this for a second. $5 super chat away. And Chase Sr. will come on and do a beer shotgun. But I want to ask you guys this question. We'll get it pulled up in a second. Give me a sec. With the NFL season around the corner, I'm curious. Oh, my God. Do you want to hop in there and fix it? Do you know how to fix that?
I can figure it out.
You just got to, I'll just do it. Go to an old Giants doc and just get the Giants sublink for me if you can. I'll fix this.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, no way.
I'm not going to look up
Don't
first.
look. You're never going to believe it.
No way.
You're never
No way.
going to believe it.
No way.
It's the whole family joining in.
No.
Are you ready?
Hold on.
Mars isn't looking right now.
Oh, Melinda! Melinda! Let's go! The Robinson household's here. Let's go.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
get the party started. Senior, get that shotgun ready.
Wow, shout out to Melinda, Flea,
Melinda,
and
Flea, Rich Rob, thank you for being real ones. This one's for the gang. Flea, this is apple juice.
Almighty, I see you in the comments. Marsh is a diehard Knicks fan. I'm a Bulls fan. I'm the unbiased take.
The shotgunner of the year is coming in. Who said something?
They asked if we were real Knicks fans.
They asked if I'm a real Knicks fan. That's kind of embarrassing.
See his T-shirt?
I'm a real one. Big L in the chat dropped a $115 super chat last night. We got 15 when we asked for 5, so shout out to you. Chase Sr., I guarantee you, is the fastest shotgunner of beer that you will ever see.
This side of the Mississippi.
I'd say anyone that you know can't touch this guy. So we're going to time it. I guarantee that this is under 4 seconds.
Oh.
Guarantee.
We're going under 3.
Under 3 seconds. Do you think he could do it? Type O for over, type U for under. Can he do it in under 3 seconds? I'll pull up the timer. Whenever you're ready, Chase, we can get it going. 6 seconds? Bill, are you serious? That's disrespectful. He can do 3 in 6 seconds.
Triangle
Under, he knows. Cam wants a trade. Ty, the real one who just super chatted, says over. Ty, if he goes under, you better be ready to answer the bell, my guy.
I'm going for Bricks Nation here.
Bricks Nation says 2.5.
Diesel 2-4.
All right. I think they've been here when you've been here. Let's ride. Let's go. Get the deep breathing.
Doing a breathing exercise.
Here we go. Type Chase in the chat. Chase in the chat. Let's go. Woo! Let's go, my God. Let's ride. Shout out to Chase. Give him some love in the chat. The worst triangle. Ivan. Ty Clemens. 2.3 seconds. A beer shotgun in 2.3 seconds. Almighty Finesse says, what am I watching? Well, we were breaking down the latest news and rumors surrounding the New York Knicks and kind of turned into a party. Diesel D, Chase said, he gotcha. He did. He said under 2.4. He did it. Groovy says, damn, bro. Fire emojis. Ain't nothing left in the can. There ain't nothing left in the can. Jay Livingston, yes, the can is empty, bro. He's built different, man. He literally is. I don't know how he did it. So we got to $100 in super chats, which means I owe you guys a shot. Or it's actually 4 shots, so we'll do a couple here. Here's one. Almighty Finesse says, when are we getting Mitchell? JJ says he didn't show it was empty. It's because he doesn't have to, because it's real. I've seen him do it 100 times. He doesn't have to frickin' show the empty can. Ty Clemens said he did his own shot of Henny. The Worst Triangle says, how many ounces was that can? How many ounces are in a normal beer? It's a normal standard. I think it was a Coors Light. I think he was a standard. Y'all are trying to disrespect him and doubt him. And that's getting me fired up a little bit because he didn't have to do that for you guys. He did. And he answered the bell, and he did it in under 3 freaking seconds. I owe 3 more shots for $100 in soups. Almighty is right. He said, it is empty. If there was something in it, the beer would have spilled. Exactly. I'd be wet right now. Pause. Luck Charm says we need a repeat. What does that mean? A repeat of the beer chug? Chase Sr. said every $50 super chat that comes in today, he'll do a beer shotgun. So if you want to see it again, $50 super chat. Pudge NYC, what's good, my guy? Almighty said I just subbed. Alien Head says cheers. Monkey says, hey, yo. Brandon says Cam is with Bronze Agency. Yes, he's a Clutch Sports guy. I think that's why. Could this have been Clutch Sports who leaked this to Marc Berman? Because they want him to go play for the Lakers.
That's very interesting.
That's a deep thought.
Clutch Sports, I always feel like they're a little snaky when it comes to this stuff. Like reports just start coming out about their guys. So Livingston, the can is in the garbage right now.
I'm not going to get the can out of the garbage, bro. All right. So we're at $130 in super. We got 433 people watching, 373 likes. Let's get to 400 likes. Once we get there, that's another shot. I want to answer this question from Edward, though. Edward, appreciate you joining today's show. With Killa Cam asking for a trade, how much does that affect his trade value? It's a good question. Could you get a first-round pick from the Lakers? Would you guys do this? Julius Randle, Cam Reddish for Russell Westbrook and a first-round pick. Would you do that trade? Julius Randle, Cam Reddish for Russell Westbrook and a first-round pick.
And then you buy out Russ, right?
I would hope that you buy out Russ. Greg says no. Ty says yes.
I think the Lakers.
Big L says yes. You think the Lakers what?
I think the Lakers do that.
I think the Lakers would do that too.
I don't know
Militant says no. Brandon says yes. King says yup. Yeah, what if that's a part of like the 3-team trade? Because the Worst Triangle says then we can't include Toppin in the Mitchell trade. Good point. Tom says yes. Kenyon says nope. Thomas says no. Ty says for sure, buy out Russ, yeah. Jay Livingston says, what do they do with the pick? Maybe you reroute it to Utah. Maybe you keep it, as some insurance after you trade a couple picks to Utah. Miles says, why do you want to trade Cam? I don't want to trade Cam. But if I can get an asset for him, a player that's on the last year of an expiring deal, and who knows if he's going to play and be a great player this year, why not get a guaranteed asset? Look, if Cam Reddish plays good this year, he's going to enter free agency. Be a restricted free agent, but I don't want to trade Cam. I'm just kind of worried about if there's minutes for him on this roster. Because you got guys at the wing spot like RJ, Grimes, Cam, Fournier, Obi, Quickly, Rose. Like, there's a lot of players that need minutes. I think Cam might be on the outside looking in on that spot, those guys. Brandon Perry says Phoenix has Crowder, Saric, and a first for Randall. I'd do it. I would do that in a heartbeat. I would, but I don't think Phoenix would offer that. If you can get a pick for Julius Randle, you make the trade. I think that's the mindset I'm rolling with. If you can get a first-round pick for him, you make the trade. I think Jay Crowder would be a cool piece on this Knicks team, especially if you trade for Mitchell, because he's like the type of vet that you want, right? A 3-and-D guy, hit clutch shots, playoff proven. Saric, Is he good anymore? Dario Saric?
Not really. I mean, he didn't play
Wasn't he
at
the
all.
guy that got traded from the Sixers
Yeah.
to the Suns?
Yeah.
Not a scrub, a bench 4, right? Can shoot a little bit.
I mean, yeah, he could spread the floor. Can't really guard anybody, but
Yeah. King Matthews says Suns not doing that. I don't know if they would, honestly.
I don't know how badly the Suns want Rand. I don't think it's like
I don't think they are not wanting him. There's been rumors that it could make sense, but there's been nothing of substance that said a deal is imminent. Miles, Randall and or Fournier should be included in any trades to clear minutes for the young guys. Only problem is the Jazz do not want Julius Randle. Randall for Keldon Johnson. Isn't that the Spurs guy?
yes,
They say no. They say hell no.
yeah. Even though Spurs are going for a rebuild right now, but he's
He's like a
one of the-
22-year-old
yeah.
player. You build around him. You keep him for the rebuild.
very similar to OG Anunoby.
I love OG, right? But like, what are you going to trade for OG? Still going to have to be Grimes. Still going to have to be Fournier.
Probably have to do Grimes and Toppin
Yeah, like
again, one pick.
you're still going to have to give up a lot for OG Anunoby. Almighty says, I want Keldon on the Knicks. Yeah, I also want a 6-pack, but I like candy, so it's not going to happen. All right. 388 likes. We're 12 likes away from 400. That equals a shot. I think I owe 2 more shots once we got past $100 in soups. So I'll take those. Seeps, what do you think we should do here?
I don't know. I feel like it's up to them, really. I do have to hop on Brown soon, but
What time is that?
3, I think. Actually, never mind.
Is Petey good?
Yeah.
Last shot for getting over $100 in Super Chat. Shout out to you guys. Ugh, that shit stinks. Yeah, like if y'all
How do you
guys
wanna
want to, 430 people watching. There are people trying to get in this studio, and I hate to do this, but if we're gonna stay live, we're gonna have to have some super chats rolling. I think that's just the way things work. But with 430 people live, I want to ask you guys this question: who is your NFL squad? Who's your NFL squad? Type G for the Giants, type J for the Jets, type O for other. Who are you rocking with in the NFL? Giants, Jets, or other? Kenny Game says that fireball's hitting hard. Yeah, I'm definitely buzzing. Definitely buzzing at 12. Are we getting lunch today? Has there been a lunch order?
Pizza outside.
There's pizza. It's here.
Yeah.
There's pizza out there. But I'm staying live for you guys. I'm seeing a whole lot of Giants in the chat, and that's awesome because I run our New York Giants channel, and I want you guys to subscribe over there. If you're a Giants fan, subscribe to New York Giants Now.
Links are in the chat.
Link is in the chat. Subscribe to Giants Now. If you subscribe to Giants Now, it's a channel just like this. I'm the host of it, same type of content. I'm going to go over to Giants Now and see if any of you guys have subscribed. Who is subscribed to New York Giants Now? Click the sub link. It's in the chat. We can pepper that a couple more times if we want. I want to see the live count. We're at 11,145 subs on Giants Now. So if you go subscribe, I'll know. T Money says I'm subscribed. Gil says done. Ramel says Giants stink. Militant Return says, I like Entertainer talking sports when it comes to Giants talk. They're great. They do great. Entertainer and talking Giants. But hey, I think we do pretty good stuff too. So subscribe. Link is in the chat. Diesel D says he just subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. That'd be awesome. We go live every single game day. We do lives. We do watch parties. Almighty, did you subscribe? Gil says subscribe for the G-Men. That's mad love. Looks like we gained a couple subscribers. Diesel D subscribed. 49 cents says, I will subscribe only if you give free Lawrence Taylor jerseys. If you have a free one, let me know. I'd love to have one for free as well. Just subbed Marshmallow. That is something that I've been called my whole life. Always. Since I was probably 4 years old. Subscribe. Ramel says, man, y'all go sub. Almighty, did you subscribe, bro? Subscribe to Giants Now. It's in the chat. All right, with 392 people watching right now, I don't want to end the stream, but did we just get to 400 likes, or did I already take those shots? No? All right, we just got to 400 likes. I'm going to take one more shot, and then we're going to go back to the shot clock, and that's it. Ugh. All right. Jalen Moore has been cut from the Giants practice squad. Any super chats that roll in the next 3 minutes. We're going to stay live for 3 minutes. If super chats roll in, we will stay live and answer those questions. But we will have to log off because we've already been live for over an hour and a half. Maybe even 2 hours at this point. We're up to an hour 40 being live. Ty Clement says, on my word, I will subscribe. That's mad love. If any super chats come in the next 3 minutes, we'll stay live to answer those. If not, we're going to have to sign off because people are trying to get into the studio space. The only way we can occupy the space is if super chats come in. That is a direct quote from my boss. So you can take it up with him at James Yoder on Twitter. Take it up with him. Any super chats roll in? We are $70 away from 200. That'd be awesome if we got there. I think it's a little, they might be asking a little much, which is fair. But today's show was awesome. We had over like 580 live at one point, over 600 live at one point. Rich Robinson said he subbed because he's a real one. Shout out to you, Rich Rob. Hope you're having a good day, brother. Shout out to Melinda. Shout out to Flea. Give Flea some nucks for me. Give Flea some nucks for me and Seeps. Miguel says we're drinking unsweetened iced tea. Well, one, I don't like sweet tea. I don't like unsweet tea. So, no, we're not. We are drinking Fireball, though, but if you want to be a hater, you can do that. I think if you ask anybody that watches these live streams, they would know that this is liquor because there's been some drunk moments on this show. Rich says he's trying to get Flea sub. That's awesome. Kenny Game says, great show. Thanks, guys. We got a minute left on the shot clock. Any super chats roll in the next minute. We'll answer those. We'll stay live, too. If not, we're going to bounce on out of here. JJ says, Fireball tastes good, but it doesn't get me real buzzed. To me, it doesn't taste good, and it does get me buzzed. So a little bit opposite of you. I don't think it tastes good. You wonder why we drink Fireball? It's because it's free liquor. And my favorite liquor is free liquor. And that's what's here. So I'm going to drink that. 30 seconds. Any super chats roll in, we'll answer those. If not, we are going to get the F up out of here. Because I got other work to do. I got to go do a Giants video. All righty. Almighty said, when's the next live? If there's no breaking news, it's going to be next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. That is when we go live every week. Wednesday at about 5, sometimes 5:15. But we go live every week about 5 o'clock Wednesday. We are past 3 minutes. I'm going to reload my screen. Yeah, Almighty, we do one live a week. But we also put out videos every single day on the channel. Miguel says, I want a t-shirt, okay? We'll put the link to the t-shirt in the chat. Give me a sec. The link to get a t-shirt is in the chat, or you can just go to chatsports.com/real Knicks. Chatsports.com/real Knicks. The link is in the chat. We'll do one final sub push. If you're a subscriber, I want you to type me in the comment section. I'll show love to all the real ones in the subs, and then we'll bounce on out of here. Ty Clemens, I appreciate you. JJ, thank you. Big L, you rock. Miguel, no disrespect, bro. I ain't soft. I can never be disrespected. I'm too real. Rich Rob says, MG, we need kid sizes for the t-shirts. Let me talk to my boss. Let me see what I can figure out. Shout out to Margaret. Shout out to JJ. If you're not subscribed, change it. Hit that big red button. We're now trying to get to 14,000 subscribers on the channel. We're trying to get to 14, and then we're trying to get to 15. Let's do it for our guy, Anthony Mason. Let's get to 14,000 subscribers for the Mace, Anthony Mason. Hit that big red button. If you haven't yet, Flea wants a shirt. Miguel says 7 t-shirts. Miguel, you buy 7 t-shirts, I'll give you one for free. You buy 7 shirts, Miguel, I'll make sure you get one from free. He says, but come on, you got to do some type of deal. Miguel, you buy 6 shirts, I'll give you the 7th one free. That's the best I can do. My boss said no deals, but I'll pay it out of my pocket. How about that? That's the best I can do. I'll give you a free shirt if you buy 6 of them. Is that cool? Miguel, let me know if that's cool. You buy 6 shirts, you show me that you bought 6 shirts, and I will send you a free shirt out of my own pocket. Because my boss already said no free shirts, but I'll do it out of my own pocket. I'm waiting for Miguel's response, and then we're going to bounce on out of here. Miguel. Almighty says, how much are the shirts? I think they're $26. $26 on the sites and the manufacturer we use. B. Beloy, Beloyly, he's the real one. He said, what up? Big L says, don't forget my shirt. I'm going to email you back today, brother. Trust me. A lot of breaking news. Like, it was tough to do all I wanted to do on today's show. I didn't have a planned live show. We had breaking news. Miguel is not answered. So, I don't know what's going on over there. Miguel, you buy 6 shirts. You take a picture of your receipt. You send it to me on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. I'll get you a 7th shirt for free, my guy. Yes, Almighty. Yeah, when there's breaking news, we go live on the channel. That's what we do. Breaking news, we go live. News and rumors, videos every single day, but we also go guaranteed live every Wednesday when there's breaking news. Bell Ollie. Bell Ollie? Okay, I think I'm saying it right now. Miguel, you buy 6 shirts, send me a picture of your receipt to Instagram or Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. I'll get you a 7th shirt for free. I think that's free. Ty says, tell me the link again. It's youtube.com/NYGiantsTV. youtube.com/NYGiantsTV. The link to Giants Now is in the chat. If you haven't yet subscribed, it's another channel I do here at my job. So I'd love to have you guys over there. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in today. We're going to sign off, though. Bell Ollie, shout out for the love, bro. That's mad real. We're going to sign off, though. He said he created an account for us. That's mad love. Big L XL. Okay. I'm going to email you back in a couple of minutes, maybe an hour. I'm going to go eat some pizza. I'm going to rush to do a Giants video. But Big L, before we get to midnight tonight, I will give you an email back. I promise you that. I like my woman sunny side up. Said, when are you doing Collins again? I think I'm going to bring it back for post-game shows. Post-game shows for games, and we'll do Collins. I think that'd be pretty cool. All righty. We're going to sign off. If you haven't yet, hit that big red button, subscribe, and we'll see you later on New York.